Call to order the regular board meeting of the Northmore ISD School Board. This is Thursday, July 21st, 2022. The time is 6 o'clock. All 7 board members are present, so we have established a quorum. Clint Spencer will now give our invocation, and following we will do our pledges.
Let's pray. Father, we're grateful to be together tonight, and we're grateful for the education and the opportunities that this institution has provided. We pray that the things that we say and do can honor you, and it's in Jesus' name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I pledge allegiance to the Texas. One and indivisible. The Texas. Okay, we will now move to item 3, which is public testimony. Right?
We have none for public testimony tonight.
And we have 9 people for public testimony.
No. We don't have any.
Oh.
We need to check with one on public forum.
Oh, okay. We don't have any on public forum.
Public testimony.
Okay. Public forum.
They're trying to fix it. Officer Moses right now.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
There you go.
Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for public forum, and I will read the procedures for public forum. This is the time for citizens, staff, or students to provide their comments to the board. Statements and questions from the audience will not be permitted during other portions of the meeting, so please let us hear from you now if you have comments to present. To have your comments heard tonight, your name and the subject matter of your comments must be written on the sign-in sheet prior to the start of the meeting, which is located at the front of the meeting room. Each speaker will be limited to 5 minutes to complete his or her comments. As the presiding officer, I will strictly enforce that time limit. If a group of people want to be heard on the same subject, the board asks that they designate a spokesperson to avoid needless repetition. The board shall allot no more than 30 minutes for the public forum portion of the meeting. The board has adopted rules to preclude the abuse of open forum by, for example, anyone uselessly repeating the same comment or complaint meeting after meeting. In the event your comment, in the judgment of the presiding officer, constitutes a complaint against an employee or officer, the presiding officer will interrupt and ask you to stop and direct you to proceed with the district's formal grievance procedures, DGBA, FNG, or GF local. With these cautions in mind, we will now be glad to hear the general comments. Time being, okay, we're timing here, okay. First one on the list is Mr. Scott Hummel.
Thank you. Just a couple of quick things that I have on there. The first one, if I'm not mistaken, is to congratulate Mr. Jimmy Fenley. I saw that on the agenda that you were going to be resigning this evening, but congratulations for your service to the school district. The other one is real quick on the building over budget comments that I heard. I just want to ask a couple quick questions, and Kelly, you can email me the answers. That's fine. Paris has added on X amount of things for you to do. I just want to know, did they pre-approve or approve your site plans and building plans and then come to you later saying, oh, by the way, we want a road. That's all. That's the question on that. Because if that's the case, based on some folks that I've spoken to, it's on Paris and not on the school, and it shouldn't be something that's passed on to the members of this community and added on to that bond for their mistake. Okay, so that's pertinent information that we can use going forward to help alleviate a few $1 million of over budget that they're trying to pin you with. Okay. Next, the order is take my glasses off so I can read. Is concerns the confirmation of the information given from this board to the general public about certain books that we have in this school system that are used as required AP course books to keep your accreditation and your funding. That's been put on for basically, yes, the bluest eye is the book that we're discussing here. And I have the records that it was shown that the school board continually said we need to keep it, to keep our funding, so on and so forth. Great conversations today with Kevin Ellis, the director of the Texas Education Agency, who put me in contact with some people at the AP College School Board of Directors. And no, that book is not required at all. It's a complete lie that it is required to have any part of that book. Now, here it is, question number 3 on the free form, 2022 AP class. The bluest eye does exist. But let me read to you the very first sentence. It's kind of important. Either from your own reading or from this list below. That means it's just a suggestion. It is not required. You are not required to keep it to keep your funding and your accreditation. That is wrong. Okay? And I would hope that the board, again, would just kind of look into this and say, why do we have a book in our school that, yes, we only read a certain portion of it, but it's still under lock and key in the principal's office? Does that really make sense that we have to have this? No. I'm not saying burn the books, ban the books, put the books in the proper location of the adult section of the public library. Okay? Also, and this is a fact, don't tell me that it isn't, a third grader from the school district has access to the books that are in the North Lamar ISD library. And you know what other books are there. We don't need to name them, we don't need to read from them. Okay? That's just wrong. Okay? Follow Tyler ISD. Follow McKinney ISD. Follow Caddy ISD. Do the right thing, review these books, and remove them. It's not going to change your accreditation. It's going to make you the heroes. Lamar County needs to step up and lead. This school board has that opportunity to say, you know what, yes, we can lead. We don't need them. It doesn't help our funding. I have the list here of how this AP course is actually funded. Okay, I know the rules. I'm not coming here uneducated. The other part of it is at the end of the day, and the minute left, you're going to hear some testimonies from some folks that might say, I'm going against their First Amendment. No, it's not. But maybe we should start teaching our kids the Constitution in our schools and not passages from sexually explicit pornographic books in our schools. These kids are losing their constitutional rights because schools aren't teaching them. So when they're not teaching their constitutional rights, they don't know when they're taken away. And that's a shame. I'm not doing this for me. I'm not doing it for any of you. I'm doing it for your kids and your grandchildren. We don't need these books in the schools. It's that simple. If the parents want their kids to read them on their own, that's up to them. But they should also read Section 18, U.S. Code 2251. It's against the federal law. It's also against the federal law for schools now to start doing this. This is this little thing that school districts in this state are going to have to be looking into because it's becoming passage, according to the director of the Texas Education Agency that they're working on right now, is to force the federal laws against school districts who are doing this. Longview ISDs are going to have all their books removed because the Longview City Council is doing the right thing. They are passing passage that making it illegal at a city level. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. The second one, Mr. Aaron Barnes.
Hello, my name is Aaron Barnes. I am a parent of 2 children here at North Lamar that are elementary age. I'm a North Lamar graduate. Live in the district, of course, and owns property in the district as well. I'm here tonight just to talk about school safety in general, right? We saw what happened in Uvalde. I think most of us, as parents, were genuinely disappointed in the response, that where those kids weren't protected. I feel in my circle of friends, the thing that we care the most about as parents in re-entering this 2022-2023 school year is the safety of our children. I was fortunate enough back in June to participate in a safety and security committee meeting around the district, which was pretty eye-opening for me. All of the protocol, planning, teams in place that go well beyond the borders of this campus. So this could include Sheriff's Department, City Police, other first responders. And candidly, after going through that meeting, I could take a sigh of relief that I felt like our kids are in good hands. I certainly appreciate having a school district that gives our teachers the option to carry and to help protect these students. I think that's incredibly important. Obviously, I'd like to see that stay. Also think the district adding an extra resource officer, police officer, is a fantastic idea. As a parent, again, I appreciate that. I've worked with Chief Bowes on projects in the past, and then different concerns around campuses, and I'm just very appreciative of the team that we have in place and administration that is prioritizing our student safety. So in general, I'm saying thank you, and I'm also saying as you guys make decisions over the next few months and throughout this next school year, anything we can do to keep these campuses safe from true, real, scary, evil threats, right? In the circle of parents that I have with students, most of them aren't particularly concerned about passages in books for 17 or 18-year-old kids. But the thing that is at the top of our list is keeping our kids safe as we drop them off each day, pick them up each afternoon. So I want to commend the district on all of the work that they've done in protecting kids up to this point, having a school resource officer, and I would encourage the district as we go forward to continue considering anything else we can do to help protect our kids and keep them safe. So thank you.
Thank you. The third person is Kristen Beatley.
Do I need to say what they're going to talk about?
Hi, good evening. I'm here to speak on the issue of obscenity and specifically the novel The Bluest Eye, which is being taught in your AP English course. My name is Kristen Bentley, and I'm the State Republican Executive Committee woman for SC1. This is an issue that, as y'all know, has taken the interest of the local county GOP, and it's also something that the Republican Party of Texas has taken a strong interest in, and I'm here to lend my support in the county effort. Just so y'all know, I'm also a former teacher. I'm a special education advocate. I have 2 postgraduate degrees in education, including a master's in special education and a clear level 2 education specialist credential. And I say that so that you know that I do have professional expertise in this subject, and that gives me, in some people's eyes, a certain authority to speak on these issues. But I also want to make it abundantly clear that parents, I do believe that parents have the greatest authority when it comes to issues that involve children and education. And we've seen a lot of parents across the state of Texas express concerns regarding the obscene literature, primarily books that we're finding in school libraries across the state. And I don't know if y'all have seen examples of this. I have looked into your library, and there are a few books that I'll bring to your attention through email, that are on our list of books that we're concerned about. But overall, you actually have a library that doesn't seem to be as big of a problem as some other school districts in North Texas. But with regard to the bluest eye, I am under the understanding that the board made the decision to keep this in the library, in the curriculum, because you had an employee of the school district inform you that it is a requirement of the AP curriculum and that it's part of the AP test. And so when I heard that, I immediately reached out to our representative on the State Board of Education, Mr. Kevin Ellis, and then I went to the college board and
Excuse
confirmed-
me,
Yes, ma'am.
but thank you, and that's 5 minutes.
It hasn't been 5 minutes. The alarm went off early. So the alarm went off early, but I
Okay,
almost.
no, that's okay, that's okay. Go ahead and finish, go
So
ahead.
I think that your task was making really important decisions for the children here in North Lamar. And I would assume that you're relying on correct information. Is that right? You want correct information to make informed decisions. Well, I'm here to tell you that you made the decision to keep the bluest eye based on misinformation that you had from a school employee. The bluest eye is in no way required in the curriculum for AP English, and that is clear. The College Board, which governs AP curriculum and testing, they have made it clear to me. It's clear on their website. I will send each of you an email that will point to the pages where you can find that. And so what we are asking is that you please remove the book, that you reconsider having this pervasively vulgar, obscene book from your classroom curriculum. It is not appropriate to have a book that is that sexually graphic, that goes into graphic detail about pedophilia in a classroom full of minors. There are so many books that you can choose from that meet the skills requirement, because there is a skills requirement for the AP. There are so many books to choose from. There is no reason to have the bluest eye. And so we ask that you reconsider based on this new information that you have. Thank you.
Thank you. The fourth public forum will be Melissa Edwards.
Give me just a second, I'm gonna change this because I think it's going out for the battery. I don't want it to go out in the middle of something.
There's that piece of paper that shows. So I go over here, and yes, the blue side is on there, but it's only as a suggestion.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Hello, and thank you for allowing me to be here tonight to speak freely. I sincerely appreciate all of our teachers and our staff, as well as all of our volunteer board members. Some go above and beyond, like Jimmy. So really appreciate what you do for our schools. My name is Melissa Edwards, and unlike any of the speakers tonight except for Aaron Barnes, I have children in our school. I have 3. I have 1 at Higgins, 1 at Bailey, 1 at Stone. I also have 5 nieces and nephews currently enrolled, 2 that just graduated. I did not go to Northmore. I am not a Parisian. I'm not from here. My interest tonight is in my children, their education, and their future. What I'm seeing consistently happening is ignorant attacks on North Lamar. And I use the word ignorant because it's ignorant. there's no education. There's no truth behind what is being said. And when we parents have stood up, we've been blocked, we've been censored, we've not been allowed to rebuttal. And it's sad. It continues to happen on social media relentlessly. First, our school district was accused of teaching CRT. Then it was providing pornographic material by the way of a book called The Bluest Eye. I've read it twice. It's a great book. And I love Jesus. So what I'm concerned about is these continued attacks and our teachers that aren't able to speak up for themselves. And that leaves only the parents to speak up. And then we get censored. Next, they're going to attack our budget. We've already seen hints of that. I guess the economic issues haven't affected these people. As a self-professed book nerd, my interest was piqued immediately, especially when a young 16-year-old friend of mine told me they were having to speak up. I can't stand by and listen to these attacks any longer, especially when they become personal, attacking our board members and our businesses, our teachers, driving our teachers away as if they need another reason to quit. I stand here today and I'm telling you thank you. Thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for doing what's right for my children's education. People can be offended by many things. Maybe it's their religious or their political beliefs, but that does not make them right. And honestly, I can't help but be a part of this is racism. This is my opinion. Let me tell you how books saved my life. When I was 13 years old, going into my freshman year of high school, my parents divorced. I was raped and molested continually by my best friend's father. And then my brother shot himself and killed himself and bled out while we tried to resuscitate him. These are all traumatic events alone, and I'm not looking for your sympathy because I have done years of therapy. But these are unbearable issues for a 13, 14-year-old going into their freshman year of high school. And I could have turned to drugs or alcohol or sex or worse, but instead I fell in love with classic literature thanks to my advanced English teacher, Mrs. Walker. I spent all my time nose deep in those books. The library was my favorite place to hang out. It still is. Taking books away from people because we offend a certain person is not a solution. Young adults need to know there are people like themselves in the world, even if they are what they call damaged by society. Reading about situations like my own can also help teach young people to empathize with others, to not be bullies, like we're seeing happening right now. Thank you for not letting these critics take away from my children's future. I sincerely appreciate you having the best interests of my children in mind. And to whoever continues to critique, please stop. Find something to critique that actually is a problem. You are costing our taxpayers money. You're driving away good talent. You are only harming my students. Thank you.
Thank you. The fifth person will be Aaron Edwards.
Just want to say thank you to all the board members for your time, for volunteering for what you do. As my wife said, we have 3 kids at school. As you may have noticed, the speakers before us, other than Aaron, don't actually have students here. Some of them don't even live in this county. So I'm here to speak more about parental rights because I feel as a parent, we should have the most say over what our children like. So when people that don't have children and they're trying to take tools away from good teachers, I understand it may not be required, but that extra knowledge may help those students actually pass these exams. They say they want correct information, I've given it to them, and they've failed time and time again to show me where any of it was incorrect. They know it's a short section that's taught. Again, that knowledge can help these students on their AP exam. I graduated from North Lamar. I took multiple AP exams. I know they're tough. And I know depending on the school you want to go to, sometimes you've got to score a 5 just to get college credit. If you know how these tests are run, they're very extensive, and they're very difficult. So every little bit of advantage is great. So they also know, because we presented this information to them, that if they find it offensive and they actually have a student there, that student is allowed to miss those days. School cannot hold this against them in any way. Can't retaliate against them. But I just want to say thank you to you guys. I want y'all to know that as a parent, and as every parent I've spoken to that has the facts and has the truth, knows that this is not an issue. It hasn't been an issue. There's been no reason for a parent to make it an issue because it's a non-issue. But I want y'all to know that we're here and we're standing alongside you guys, alongside our teachers. We don't feel it's fair that our teachers take the brunt of these attacks because it's senseless. It's ridiculous. But just want you guys to know that we're here for you guys, and there's a strong community of parents that's here supporting you guys. Thank you.
Thank you. The sixth and last public forum will be Jerry Ward.
Hello, my name is Jerry Ward. I live in Lamar County. I have 2 children that are in the Lamar County School District, North Lamar County School District. And I, because I put teachers on the list as something that I wanted to talk about. I heard that there was some uproar in the community about a certain piece of literature that was being utilized in the AP English program at North Lamar High School. I have a postgraduate degree, and I work with children with special needs. I also have 2 siblings with special needs. I believe the purpose of literature in general, the reason we study it, the reason that all societies have that as part of their schooling is because it teaches you about different people that are not like yourself. If you are taught only in things that are of yourself, then how are you to empathize? How are you to know about the world? And how are you to just go out and help others and be part of that world in an appropriate manner? Even in the church that I grew up in, I know this is school and not church, part of our youth group curriculum was a book that taught about all world religions in depth, so that we could understand how others thought, how others believed, and what others had to go through in their lives in order to understand why we believe what we believe, why it is important for us to hold strong in our beliefs, and so you can empathize with others. Going through life as a robot with importance on only what you believe and not being able to empathize with another person. Understand why they may do, think, act the way they do, the way they dress the way they do. Any of that, I think that is a detriment to society in general. And I think that having teachers that understand the importance of why they teach what they teach. Is it just to get a score on the test? Some of them may think that. Is it to have a better understanding of the world and to grow up the leaders of tomorrow, the people that are going to be making laws, the people that are going to be caring for people when they are hurt, when they are damaged, the people that are going to be caring for you and me. I think that I would rather have a well-rounded person in those places of leadership, in those places of government. And I think starting with a good education is part of that. It's my understanding, the book that is being questioned so often tonight, sorry to touch on it again, is a portion of it is being used in the AP program, and the teacher that uses it has a high rate of passing on the AP test. I took several AP and college courses while I was in high school and was able to cut off a year of my college and master's degree program in total so that I could go and work and start helping people. And I think that is something that I'm glad Normal offers for my children. I'm glad they have teachers that are good, that understand the requirements of what needs to be taught on these tests so they can have a leg up, so that they can have a good, well-grounded education, and they can go forth into college and learn what they need to learn to be world shakers and movers.
Thank you. And We appreciate your concern and your comments, and this public forum is over. I have 6:30. Okay, we will now move to public hearing. The district's use of the ESSA federal funds and the SCE accelerated instruction of Ms. Laura Sanders. Okay, this is a public hearing, and I have 6:31.
Okay, all right, so I am going to go over the committee's decisions with our state comp ed funds and all of our ESSA funds from our recent district improvement committee meetings that we had last semester.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
We can't hear you.
Is your microphone on? Is it on?
Can you hear me now? You can move up if you would like.
I can, but some of these people are saying they cannot hear. And if it's a hearing, are we allowed to speak? Ask questions?
Go ahead.
Someone clarify.
Is your microphone on?
Thanks. Can you hear me?
Sometimes you have to get real close to it. There you go.
Okay, so this is the committee's decisions, the district improvement committee's decisions on our state comp ed and ESSA funding that we get each year. So what you have for this committee is we sit down and we decide, we look at how money was spent last year and we decide how the money is to be spent the next year. So we're going to start with state comp ed. The identified needs of the committee were personnel and supplies to provide individual assistance to at-risk students, including tutoring, summer school, pre-K teachers and aides, intervention teachers and aides. So we got last year $6,770,000. 55% of that is what this committee determines how it will be spent, because that money must be spent to supplement the regular education. So the positions that were funded are pre-K teachers and aides, intervention teachers and aides, DAP teachers and aides. It funds programs and intervention programs at Stone and the high school, intervention classroom supplies, summer school staff and supplies. So they looked at the data, the taper report, STAR report, and from looking at those and our student scores for the at-risk students, the committee determined that this way that we spent the money this year on state comp ed was appropriate, and they wanted to continue next year spending the money in the same ways. So meaning the same staff would be funded, the same programs would be funded. Okay? So state comp ed, we were looking at what was done last year. Now, with ESSA, we're looking at what we're going to do this year. Okay, so the first one is the Title I. Our Title I campuses are Parker, Higgins, Everett, and Bailey. The needs that the committee identified were for online and teacher-led accelerated instructional programs and supplies, intervention teachers and assistants, instructional coaches, and for parent family engagement. This coming year, we'll get $689,374. We fund through this grant, we fund elementary intervention teachers and aides, the elementary reading instructional coach, and an elementary parent and family engagement facilitator. We also fund the programs. We fund, since this is for your elementary campuses, we fund pre-K through 5 programs, online programs, online curriculum, and we pay for half of the district's Region 8 contracts through Title I. Again, they looked at the taper report, our STAR scores, and the committee determined that the educational strategies are effective, and therefore that we want to continue the allocation of these funds on the personnel programs and services that we had currently been funding. On Title II is for professional development of our staff, and so the identified needs for continued professional development for all instructional staff. We get $115,367. We pay for, with this money, the conferences, professional development, whether it be going or coming to the campus, contracted services, pay for staff doing PD after school, and we pay for the other half of the district's Region 8 contracts. Again, we looked at the table report, the STAR data, those things, and the committee again determined that we need to continue what we're doing, but we need to increase the amount of professional development that was provided by the district, and we need to encourage staff to attend conferences that are available. And since we're finished with being locked down so much with COVID, the teachers can go a little bit more. It's been a lot more difficult for teachers to go. We had to bring more people in the last couple of years. Title IV, this is like safety. This is where your well-rounded education, you improve school conditions for student learning and use of technology. So this is where we're looking at things like our safety of our campus and those types of things. So the needs that they thought were that we needed the Raptor, which is our campus safety check-in program. We need to pay for the 2 AP exams that we pay for the AP students. We need digital instructional programs for middle and high school students, and then restorative discipline, which has been used on some of our elementary campuses. The way the funds have been used is it pays for all of the campus safety check-in programs. It pays for secondary digital education programs. You can't pay for the elementary Title IV because it's Title I pays for those. Title IV pays for the secondary digital programs. It pays for the AP exams for the AP students, and it pays for restorative discipline. We get, this coming year, we'll get $36,676 in those funds. And so the committee determined that the items that we have purchased are effective and be continued for the next school year. And the last one that we reviewed is our Title I parent-family engagement. So this, the need that the committee sees is that we need to increase our parent-family engagement. We get $6,894 through Title I parent-family engagement. We use to talk to parents, to communicate. We use the Remind, Facebook, online, Grade-Book, the website, parent conferences, Title I meetings, newsletters. We have STAR parent info that goes out, transition activities, which those are when they're going from one campus to another to help the kids know what's going to be available at the next campus. We do open houses and meet the teacher. We put some things into place, and we're working on putting more next year into place. But we started parent surveys as well on the district website, campus website. We have parents on our committee. We have leadership learners, volunteer opportunities. The committee recommendations were that parent surveys indicate that parents feel well informed, welcome, included, and their children are receiving a good education in NLISD. However, the committee recommends more parent events should be scheduled concerning curriculum, expectations, and how parents can work with their children at home to increase parent involvement and knowledge and how to help their children educationally. So based upon these facts that the committee reviewed and what they came up with, this is what we would use to apply for our ESSA grant this school year.
I think we have a question in the back.
So I know this sounds really question, but so because you said a lot of information, let me just double check on the funding that you were talking about. Is any of it federal? Is it all federal? Okay. Is there any SEL, social emotional curriculum in any of the materials that you're purchasing?
Yes, we're purchasing our SEL. this is not something necessarily, they're choosing their curriculum they want to use, but it's not something that's being taught to every student, something that they're using with students that need their help.
I understand that, but I believe the school board is in charge of approval of everything. Any
Well, I
instructional.
believe TEA is the one that chooses the curriculum that the district uses. TEA puts out the requirements for curriculum.
So TEA told you what you're required to do for the ESSR.
They'll do the requirements.
Okay, so the district is, I mean, the board is not aware of the things that this, I mean, have you personally looked at any of this material, or are you aware? So if a parent came to you and said, hey, I noticed this is, I know what restorative justice is, so I'm gonna go ahead and use that.
Are you talking about restorative discipline?
Yes, which is the
That's
same.
not restorative, yeah.
I know exactly what it is.
And that's what they use at some of the campuses, but that's
Yes.
not what, that's different than that.
Yes, I understand, but you said that was part of the purchase.
It's part of the ESSA, not ESSA.
So is the
This
school
is
board
at
aware
ours,
of what is being used with the students in the district? You're required to know that, and you're required to approve it. TEA may tell you these are the things that you have, but ultimately, it is under your charge. So I will definitely, I'm not calling you to say this truth or anything, but I'm definitely gonna check that out, and I just wanna clarify, the ESSR, whatever you have purchased with that, the board has nothing to do with approving it. It can be taught anywhere to the students here, and the board doesn't have to have any knowledge of it. Okay.
Of course, when we get federal grants and our state funding, we get allowable and unallowable costs that go with it. Okay, and then we look at those costs, if they're allowable, and we can pay, and then, we always do bring it to the board and do tell the board what we are planning to do with our funds, just like we do tonight on all of it.
I really
Yes,
think.
So, they could have an input. Yeah, because we do tell them, we inform them, just like she was doing tonight. And
So they
those are
have
allowable and unallowable costs, and each thing that we get.
Yes, we follow the allowable and unallowable, everything.
Do you record or post everything you've purchased? So the parents in that school district have an idea of what the school just purchased in terms of curriculum and so on and so forth. In other words, you purchase a curriculum. Like say you purchase a specific brand or a company who has put together a sex education curriculum. Okay? You purchase it. Do we put that out so the teachers, like these folks over here, they parental rights? Do we put that out where the parents of the students of the school know what you've purchased, so they have the ability to look into what that curriculum may or may not contain? Or no, we just go ahead and put it in school, or we don't tell the parents what it is?
Yeah, let me say something. We're not trying to hide anything.
Right, I'm not accusing you of hiding anything, I'm just trying to see if it is.
You're asking me questions, so I'm going to ask you something. I've done this job for 25 years, and I appreciate people like her, because I was a school counselor, and I have dealt with kids like that. And for some reason, I feel like you guys think that we're out to get the students. Let me tell you what, we do this job because we love kids. Not because it's an easy job, and not because we love to be ridiculed. I have been a teacher, a principal, a counselor, and now I do this job. No job is easy. No job gets any easier. But we are not hiding. I'm not hiding something from you, Teresa. It's right here. Hold on a second. I'm going to talk. I put everything on our website. I've spent months getting it on the website. So for you guys to come in and just think we're trying to hide, we're not trying to hide.
I didn't accuse you of hiding. I was just
You are.
asking.
You're saying,
No, I did not accuse you directly.
you're-
I did not accuse you directly of hiding. I asked a simple
Okay.
question. If it was posted or not, that's all. And if it-
Let's make comment without arguing, please.
Here's my end goal, just so you all know. I live in this county. I live in the North Lamar ISD district. I want to make it awesome. So this area of the world is awesome. And we get really good people who want to move here and want to be here. Okay? I don't need to have a kid in this school.
It's awesome.
I represent all the kids in this area because they're our future.
not mine.
And I do.
I don't want to represent your kids, but you read your kids that mindfully stuff.
Okay, we're done.
Okay.
I just want to say, no, I did not imply that. I wasn't trying to imply you. I was just trying to convey the fact that there should not be anything. I know what the board's role is. I know what every level in this district is. And you are required to know every single thing that is being taught, that is being approved, that the kids can see. So for me to be told right now that you don't even have to have anything, that is, in my opinion, I don't think that's true, and I am going to call TEA and find out for sure, and the State Board of Education, because I don't think that's true. I believe what you're saying about the materials that you have. All I'm saying is I find that hard to believe that the board would have approved something if they saw something and would have just said, yeah, they picked it, a committee picked it, and then we're just going to approve it. I really, because they are ultimately in charge of approving everything. So I'm sorry if it looks like that,
It does, and it's on the website, the teachers
Yeah.
buy manipulatives for the counselor bought manipulatives, they bought blankets, things like that for the kids.
Right.
It's not like it's, anything top secret. And like Melissa said, we bring everything we buy, everything we do goes through them with these, budget things like this, so.
Okay, timeout is 6:47. Okay, item 6 on the agenda is to consent agenda. Do we have a motion? Jimmy Finley moves that we consent the agenda with a second by Bo Exum. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Vote being 7-0. Thank you. The next item, item 7, is action and discussion items. A, discussion only, the bond update. Mr. Rick Landis.
Hear me good?
Yes, sir.
If you stay close.
Huh?
If you stay close.
Well, I'm gonna get in trouble first. I'm gonna give my report, but I want y'all to know, this is one of the best boards that I've worked for in years. And we got 3 of the best superintendents we've ever had in this district. And we're moving and moving and moving. We need to stand behind this lady right here. We're spending our money on lawyers to defend ourselves. We got kids that need faucets. We got kids that need water fountains, carpet. Okay, I'm in trouble. Okay, go on. Update for Parker. Putting new tile in the cafeteria on the walls and flooring. Gym is at 90%. All new carpet has been laid in the main building. Painting has been completed in the main building. The ceiling tile and ceiling grid has been replaced. The lighting's been replaced with LED. Lockers have been painted. New flooring in the annex has been installed. Currently working on civil work and canopies now. The electrical has been completed and upgraded. HWH has set 8 units on the rooftop. We're still waiting on more. Stone. The gym floor has been removed. The new will start going down on the 25th. The high school gym floor has been finished, or will be finished, by August the 1st. The football field sod has been laid, new goalposts installed, irrigation, track will begin laying back down on Tuesday. The baseball field, new irrigation, new sod, new fencing, new bullpen in left field, new paint, and netting has been ordered. Any questions?
Sounds good. Sounds like we've been a little busy
Yes, ma'am.
taking care of business. Thank you, Mr. Landis. Okay, 7B, discussion and possible action regarding an interlocal agreement between the district and the city of Paris concerning a collector street and related matters, and the delegation of the authority to the superintendent of schools to negotiate and execute the interlocal agreement with the city of Paris. Ms. Stewart.
Okay, so in front of you is the interlocal agreement that we've been working on with the city of Paris and with the school district. I wanted you to hope you had a chance to read through all of this. Several things that I wanted to point out is that the city is waiving the requirement that the district construct a sidewalk on both sides of the collector street. And the city is agreeing to allow a phase-in construction of the sidewalk that we will have to build. TxDOT is currently working on a project of putting in sidewalks, and they will be coming down North Main with this project. We've agreed upon the construction of our sidewalks to be finished by the time that the new elementary school is finished. The substantial completion date that we currently have for the new elementary school is October 31st, 2023. The city has also agreed to the removal of the flower beds, which was part of the city ordinance for the collector road, so they have removed that so that we will not have to do that. However, we will have to put in some trees in that area. So tonight, what I am asking from you is for your approval to approve this interlocal agreement so that we can get the paperwork back to the city and we can begin constructing the road. So we'll need a motion for that.
I'll make a motion that we accept this interlocal agreement and delegate the authority to use, negotiate, and execute this agreement.
Okay, I have a motion to accept the, or to delegate the authority to the superintendent to negotiate and execute the interlocal agreement with the city of Paris. Do I have a second? Russell Jackson made the motion. Clint Spencer has seconded that. Any discussion or questions? I think we've talked about this quite often, and we've discussed it, and we're satisfied.
I would like to say, Ms. Stewart, thank you so much for working so hard to get that done for our school district and for saving us so much money and going up to bat against the city of Paris on our behalf.
Yeah, this just didn't happen overnight. It's been going on for months and months and months with a lot of discussion with us and the city of Paris. So we feel like we've come up with a solution, and yes, we're very happy to see this executed. So all those in favor of this motion, raise your right hand. All right, the motion passes 7-0. Thank you. All right, 7C, consideration and approval. TEA approved innovative course, Agricultural Leadership, Research, and Communications. Mr. Markey.
Good evening. I'm here to seek approval for a new course we would like to introduce this next year at the high school in our CTE program. It's called Agricultural Leadership, Research, and Communications. Mr. West Brown, our CTE director, was unable to be here, so he asked me if I would come in his stead, which I was glad to do. This will give a student 1 credit towards graduation, geared toward grade levels 10 through 12. And of course, the funding situation is always a question. This course has weighted funding just like any other CTE course, so we will receive that additional funding. We are requesting board approval for a new innovative course that will be taught in our agricultural science department. Innovative courses allow districts to offer state-approved innovative courses to enable students to master knowledge, skills, and competencies not included in the essential knowledge and skills of the required curriculum. Agricultural leadership, research, and communications is designed to meet critical student needs as they become professionals in their communities and in the agricultural industry. The skills needed include learning to conduct meetings, designing presentations, delivering public speeches, utilizing effective advocacy methods, applying scientific research methods, developing an evaluation approach, performing analysis, and synthesizing meaningful agricultural materials. Generally, students will gain essential skills needed to be effective leaders and professionals. Course activities should include rigorous performance-based exercises, activities including identifying and applying employability skills, developing a supervised agricultural experience program, researching the qualities and characteristics of effective leaders, analyzing leadership structure, participating effectively in an organizational meeting, demonstrating an agricultural skill, explaining and applying the scientific method, developing and executing an advocacy plan, utilizing diverse media for presentations, and performing evaluations for diverse agricultural resources. So we're asking for board approval for this new course to promote leadership on our campus and beyond.
Can we discuss or ask questions?
Have y'all looked at, or are there other schools that are teaching this class with much success?
That I do not know. I do not have that answer.
Okay, and the curriculum that's going to be involved in this?
Yes.
We pretty much have looked at it
Absolutely.
and know what it is. Anything else? Okay, Mr. Bo Exum has made a motion that we accept this class. The second by Red Holmes. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Thank you. Motion passes 7-0.
Thank you so much.
Good luck with your new class. And that weighted means that we get more money from the government, the federal, just like in all the other CT classes. So it's always good to see that program grow. Okay. 7D, consideration and approval, resolution of the Board of Trustees of North Lamar ISD regarding additional employee pay leave due to COVID. Ms. Stewart.
Okay, so before you have the same resolution that we passed for last school year, and we would like to put this resolution in place for this school year as well. Our employees have 5 state days and 5 local days, and this resolution gives them 10 extra local days in the event that they test positive for COVID. So we would like to keep that in place, especially since we know that there are some cases being identified in our county, and just to give our teachers the ability to not be worried if they're having to take off because they do test positive for COVID.
I move that we accept that resolution.
Okay.
I just want to make a statement to make it clear to the teachers that this is local days which you are charged for, because I know we had that issue this past year when they had to use them and then they were charged for them days, but this is the local days, not state days.
That is correct. The state gives 5 days, the district gives local days.
Yeah, I just wanted that to be out there so if anybody comes back on the recording or whatever, that these are local days that do cost the cost of a substitute teacher.
Right. So our policy states that we do sub-deduction for local days.
Yes.
Does everyone understand that? Okay. Well, I had a motion by Mr. Holmes and a second by Bo Exum to stay with our policy as is. Correct? All right. All those in favor, raise your hand. All right. Motion passes 7-0. Okay, 7E, to accept the resignation of Trustee Jimmy Finland. I need a motion for that.
Would you like to see?
Yeah, I mean, if that's all right, I'd like to speak.
Absolutely.
You know, in my letter, I stated why I was doing this, but I'd like to thank everyone that voted for me, past and present, the past and present board members, administration, faculty, and staff. It's been a privilege serving on the board, and there's no other reason for my resignation other than I want to come back to education. And there's a rule or a law that states that I have to be off the Board of Education for 1 calendar year before the school district can hire me. We have a lot of good school districts in this county, but I've been here since 1975, and I don't want to go nowhere else. So I want to resign now so I can come back to 23-24 school year. And hopefully this time next August, I'll sign a contract and start teaching in this school district again. I'd like to thank y'all for everything you do, and hope that I can continue to help from within instead of sitting up here on this board.
Thank you, Jimmy, for your service, and appreciate the fellowship we've shared. And I know your heart was in being a school board member, and I think you've enjoyed the time that you've been here, but we totally understand your reasoning. Okay, Bo has made the motion to accept Jimmy's resignation with a second by Russell Jackson. All those in favor? All right, we accept Jimmy's resignation and understand his reasoning, 6-0. Thank you, Jimmy.
Thank you.
Okay, item 8, Superintendent's report. Ms. Stewart.
Okay, in front of you, I placed 2 pamphlets that are regarding school board training for 2022-2023. The one that is black, it references the Region 8 ESC. So all of the school board trainings are listed that you can attend. Some of these are can be done online, and on the very last page, you can see the link that can give you that information. If you have any questions in regards to how to register for these, please contact Ms. Doyle. She'll be glad to help you. The purple handout is the Tacit TASB Convention, and that is going to be coming up September 22nd through Sunday, September 25th. And this is in San Antonio this year, so if anyone is planning on attending this convention, I need you to let me know at the very latest next week so that we can get you registered for that, because it fills up fairly fast, especially the housing. So please either email me or email Ms. Doyle, and we'll make sure that we get you registered for that convention if you would like to go. Does anyone have any questions regarding the conventions or the trainings?
Okay, thank you. Okay, item 9, executive session. The board will conduct a closed meeting in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551, subchapters D and E. We will close regular session at the time of 7:02 and move into closed session.